Okay, back here to discuss Module 4. Who are the players within the debt settlement industry? When you're enrolling someone in their debt settlement program, who is responsible for making sure that the promises that you're delivering to your potential client are going to be adhered to? And this is very important. You want to make sure that you're giving them sound financial advice and putting them with partners that are going to make your commitments to them achievable. So let's discuss a little bit about who are the important components here. One, obviously, on the back end, providing the servicing that you need in order to take care of these clients for the next 3-4 years. Eclipse Financial. They're going to handle the boarding of the client, which is the initial credit analysis, making sure which debt can go into the program, which cannot. Making sure they are a good candidate, that they have a good sound financial hardship. They're going to be the individuals that, for the most part, you're communicating with the most as an originator. These are the folks that send out the documents, and they also make sure that everything is perfectly sound for what we do, so that we can deliver a solid program to them. The compliance department, these are the people that check every single verification phone call that you will do on your side. We do these third-party verification phone calls in order to ensure the client has been told everything they need to know about a debt settlement program. We do it for their protection. We also do it for your protection. You don't want them to come back 6 months later and say, he or she never told me that. And with these verification phone calls, it's all very cut and dry as to what are the parameters associated with the debt settlement program, what can they expect, and making sure that everybody is on the same page. So the compliance department's going to be checking that, and the accuracy of all the DocuSigns, the contracts that go out and are completed. Next is a welcoming department at Eclipse. These are the folks that literally sit and pound the phones, making the initial welcome calls to the clients, letting them know exactly what's going to transpire with their program, what they can expect, list of contact numbers. They also send out welcome packages to the clients, with all their vital paperwork associated with their program. So this is the initial warm, fuzzy, like to get to know you, I'll be the person you need to speak with, making these calls and letting these folks know you didn't just endeavor on a pie in the sky program here, that we're here and we're going to take care of you. The next department is our customer service department. This is obviously such a critical component to this program. Customer service, they're on the phones every single day, taking calls from clients, answering questions, making payment changes, date changes. The clients are able to call and let them know if they're going to have a problem making a payment at all for a particular month, and they're going to try to orchestrate a way to keep them in the program and keep them engaged. They are absolutely phenomenal at what they do. A lot of times they're going to end up saving a lot of these enrollments. People, 3-4 months in, and they're starting to get a little squirrely for whatever reason, that maybe they didn't make the right decision. Customer service is here to walk them through that, to walk them off the edge a little bit and say, look, you made a good decision. It's all about sticking with it. And make no mistake about it, that first 6 to 12 months in a program like this is the toughest, because you're going to have to deal with some things you may never dealt with before as a new enrollee in a debt settlement program, such as calls and the ramifications of your whole world crumbling around you. So this customer service team is critical for making sure that people toe the line and stick with what they've committed to, because in the long run they're going to be so grateful that they did. Negotiation department obviously is the area that takes care of actually rendering offers from creditors, communicating with the creditors, setting up orchestrated payment plans, being able to go in and talk to the client and say, look, this is a really good offer, I recommend you take it. Ultimately it's up to you, but what would you like to do here? I really believe this is a sound offer. And they also handle making initiating any money transfers so that it comes out of the client's account and to the creditor in a timely manner, getting the paperwork over showing that the matter has been completely resolved and the debt has been paid off. So that is their sole responsibility. Next, let's talk about a couple of the industry players here as far as from a protection standpoint. TASC and USOBA are two of the consumer advocacy groups that are involved in debt settlement. These two organizations are fighting for debt settlement rights on a daily basis from a legal standpoint, and making sure that everybody is conducting themselves in a compliant manner and there to protect the organizations involved with rules of the road, so to speak. So these are two organizations you'll hear a lot about. Next, we have a very, very special relationship with an organization called Consumer Justice Center. If you're not talking to people about Consumer Justice Center, you're really doing yourself a major, major disservice. This is a membership to an organization, an advocacy group that is going to deal with any elevated issues that clients have. This is a membership that is paid for on their behalf, so it's free to them, but it's not a free membership altogether. It is paid for on the back end so that they have someone that they can go to in situations where, this is what's happening to me, I don't know what to do, I'm still getting these calls from creditors, they're calling my relatives, they're calling my neighbors, what are my rights? That's when Consumer Justice Center, all they have to do is call into Consumer Justice Center, activate their membership, and they will go to bat for them, making sure that any collector is going to perform their collection activities by the book. And also any type of legal actions taken by the creditors, they can call Consumer Justice Center for any type of hey, what do I do now type of information. So they're going to inform, educate, empower these consumers to reduce the creditor harassment as much as possible. So it's a very important organization. This is not something that every single debt settlement company out there has at their disposal. So I highly recommend that when people are talking about harassment and what if this happens to me and what if that happens to me, you let them know you have access to Consumer Justice Center through your enrollment in our program. That will make sure that they are getting everything that they're paying for. So very important piece of the puzzle there. Let's talk about the financial institutions that the client obviously is going to have a payment drafted every single month, and it's going to be held by a third-party FDIC insured bank to make sure that it is safe and to make sure that their savings is accumulating in an institution that is protected by federal insurance, and it's also in their name. So they have not lost control of their money at all. They can at any time get the savings out of their account by obviously canceling out of the program. This is intended to help them save every single month so that any type of impulsive purchases obviously will be at least reduced. If you had all of your savings sitting in your own savings account, the temptation would be the first time that you needed something or you wanted something, more likely, you'd run to that account and use it, and then it's going to put you in a very bad position when it comes time to negotiate with creditors and your savings isn't where it's supposed to be. So that's the idea behind Rocky Mountain Bank and Trust and Bank of Oklahoma. It's a non-interest bearing account, and it's going to be the only individual that can touch that money and approve a transfer is the client. So they very much are in control of that money that's sitting in that account. Next, what we're going to do, we're going to talk about the most common concerns that most clients have about endeavoring in a debt settlement program. This will be very helpful to you for overcoming some of the most popular objections.